Dear student, actually today I am just recording one session. So this is one recording session. So you will see this session and complete. After completion of this session, if any query or any type of doubt will arise further, so in the classroom only you can ask. I will try to solve all of your query. So here I have chosen one topic of MySQL as a revision for this benchmark. So the topic is revision of MySQL, and basically I will discuss here about the constraint. This is quite older topic that we have discussed, but today again I am going to rediscuss with few more points. So first of all, we have to know what is the constraint meaning. Constraint, as we know, whenever we are creating a relation, we want to mention some behavior, or if we want to mention some condition within that table or relation, that time we have to use constraint. So constraint means when we want to apply certain condition. Condition means without a condition many time problem may arise. For example, you are creating one table, and within the table suppose age column is there, and this to any user can enter a age above 100, but practically that is not good. So in those type of situation you can create some condition. For those student cannot go beyond that things. So basically this is recording session, so any doubt or query will arise, so you can ask me next day in the next session. So constraint, basically what are the different constraints are there. First of all, we'll look into the constraint of 6 type. First constraint is not null, next is default constraint, next one is unique constraint, fourth one is check constraint, and then primary key and foreign key. So one by one we'll discuss about it. First one is not null. So as we know, not null means that restricts the use of null values. For example, when we are using a not null constraint for any particular table, so that time we can't enter, simply can't skip any column. For example, just like we have one table, if we go for one table, in that table one admission number is there, then name is there, and then phone number is there. And if you have mentioned name as not null, so what will happen if you mention this not null name? So if any user try to skip this name part, that means don't give the name area, so it will raise one error message. That means not null field cannot be left empty. This type of error will merge. So this is the meaning of not null constraint. Next is default constraint. This is very interesting one. As we know, for various cases we get default value in our computer setting. Lot of default values are there. So for any type of table or relation, for any particular column, if you want to mention some default value, so where the default value is useful, for example, I want to create this phone number column, and in the phone number column I want that if any student forgot to enter any phone number, by default it will take some random phone number, for example 12345. So this type of value I can insert using this default constraint mechanism. And third one is unique. This is also quite known topic for you. Unique constraint ensure uniqueness. That means whenever we are creating any unique constraint, so that time we can't use any same value for any same column. For example, suppose name I have written, or phone number I have written as unique. So if you have used 1 2 3 4 5 this phone number once, you can't use the same phone number for multiple person for that particular column. So it will raise one error. Why error? Because the value is written as unique. So unique, to make any particular column or field as unique, we can use the unique constraint. Next is our check constraint. Check means what? It is one type of condition based constraint. When we want to check for any value, just like in the beginning I gave one example, that suppose one age column is there, suppose one age column, for example one age column in the student table is there, and you want that users to enter their age. Now any user can, by mistake, they can, in place of 10 they can enter 100. So this type of mistake can arise. So check constant will restrict wrong entry. Wrong entry means I want that value of age should be between 10 to 20. So I will mention under the check constant. So then what will happen, if any user by mistake or by genuinely enters a wrong value, so it will raise the error message. So this is the meaning of check constant. Next, coming to the very common topic to us, primary key, because in most of the relation we have used the primary key, and we know very well that the key that uniquely identify each row of a table. Row, again I am repeating, row means the tuples of a relation. So primary key means whenever you are using primary key for any table, that primary key should be unique, as well as the primary key field should be always not null field. So means what, if we go for unique key as well as if we go for not null feature, so if we combine these two feature, it actually make a primary key constant. So by default, if we write normal primary key, it is actually combination of these two things. It can't be empty, and obviously it will be a unique key. That means it cannot be repeated. Next, the new one is foreign key. In this session actually I have derived because of this particular one, foreign key. I am just coming to that part also with example, proper good example. So foreign key, actually this is for referential integrity. So we have to know what is referential integrity. You know very well reference means what. Reference means if we relate with one table with another part, or one relation with another relation, that is actually called reference. So when we go for referential integrity, so that time we have to use foreign key. So we will come to the example quite later. So let's start with example of some constant. So here in the first demonstration I have created one table and few constant I have used. So let's see, create table. Also within this using this example, just try to remember how to create a table. These are good example, and through this example also you can learn how to create any table. If any doubts are there, so your doubt may clear through this example also. So whenever you are creating a table, again I am just repeating, this create command comes under DDL type of command in SQL. DDL means data definition language. So create table student, this is the general structure, then first parenthesis open, then I am going for few columns. So first column is our admission ID, that is ADM ID int 4 primary key, ADM ID int 4 primary key. This is our normal first column. Then coming next, that is name varchar, then not null, name varchar not null. Then coming to the phone number char 10 unique, age int check age less than 18. Actually here we have to write in a different way, that is in place of this less than you have to use check less than 18. And then average marks decibel 4,2, default 3. So this is suppose I have to take some proper value, so I am taking here 30.0. okay. So let's explain one by one. Here admission number I have chosen as primary key. Why I have chosen as admission number primary key? Because admission number, we know this is basically one unique type of number, it is never repeated for any student. Next is name varchar 30, the data type I have mentioned. Then I have used not null, that means for each row the name column should not be left empty. Next is phone number. Phone number I have used char 10. Don't be confused, because char 10 I am just using it. You can say that's basically number at phone number is a type of number only. So why you are using char? So there is no harm, because using the phone number we are not going to calculate anything. So this is just for convention I have used char 10. Then I am using here unique. Unique is also a type of key, that means that restrict the duplicate entry. Then is age. Age is there in size I have used int 2, and you know very well that 2 means only 2 digit can be entered. 2 digit, that means starting from also 1 digit can be entered, but maximum you can go for 99. Next, here also one interesting thing I have used, that you can see, check age less than 18. Check age, not this word, check age less than 18. Now what is the meaning of this thing? when user will enter the age, for this particular column age, then it will check whether the age is below 18 or not. If it is not below 18 or up to 18, so it will raise the query wrong or simply raise one error. That means the inserted value cannot be added into the table. So this is the use of this check constraint. Next one is average mark, AVG mark, decimal 4,2. You know very well here also that 4,2. So 4,2 means total 4 points can be there, but maximum 2 decimal point. Altogether there will be 4 points, but maximum 2 decimal point and 2 whole number point. So this is meaning of average mark. And if user skip the part of average mark, so by default value will be used, that is 30.0. So this is one example where I have used primary key, not null, unique, check and default. These 4 constant basically I have used. Now I will go for some short based but important concept. So next topic is composite primary key. Now composite primary key, you have to know the meaning. Composite means what? When we combine something, that is only called composite. So here I am creating one table, create table bank, you can see. Then branch number integer not null, branch number integer not null, then SID integer not null, name varchar 30, primary key branch, then comma SID. This is very important part here. This is only the composite primary key. Primary key I have written, then here it is our branch, this is branch, and then comma SID. You can see that at the beginning here branch number integer not null, normal key value, then actually it should be branch number only, then SID is another integer. These two are my normal column I have taken, but at last I have combined these two column as a set of primary key. That means here combination of two column I am behaving just using like a primary key. Then the next point is coming here, defining primary key using alter table command. Now we have to know the meaning of just use of alter table. Alter table, we know this also comes under DDL command, that is data definition language. When you want to change the definition of any particular table, that time we can use the alter command. So here alter table student, this is our student table. I have taken one simple example, alter table student, add primary key, then within bracket SID, add primary key SID. This means suppose if you forgot or if you skip, you have not given or for any relation any primary key is not added, so later on also we can add or we can update any particular column with primary key. So here is the way. Suppose there is one relation student, so I am adding a primary key later also. Alter table student, add primary key SID. Remember, this is one of the very good way how we can operate or how we can simply change the structure of a table. This is based on alter table command, and alter comes under DDL. This create, alter, each of this command comes under DDL. DDL means data definition language, and DML means data manipulation language. Data manipulation command are like update command, insert command, where you are manipulating on the data, so not on the structure of the data. Now I am going for the main topic of today's class that you need to understand very carefully, because this is quite a topic that we can use in our project also, depending on the project cases or scenario. So but you need to understand this concept, foreign key constraint. Already I have discussed through lot of example, tabular example, but again I am going to show through practical scenario also how to use the primary key, how you can create a primary key as a foreign key, how you can relate a primary key and foreign key, this everything. So you know foreign key is a type of constraint only, that is the last constraint. Basically we are using total 6 type of constraint. So we have already discussed other constraint, here we will discuss about the foreign key now. So for example I have taken two table, one table is customer table, another table is orders table. First of all, you have to know what are the columns are there. Here column names are there, SID, which I have treated as primary key, and another two columns are there, last name and first name. SID treated as primary key for the customer table, then last name column is there, first name column is there. Normally you can understand what may be the data type, so I am not going into the structure of this table. Just these are the primary information that I need for this concept. So SID is primary key. And what is in the order table? Let's see. Here are columns. Order ID is there, so which is a primary key for order table. Order date is there, so you know very well, whenever I have to mention any date, we have to write as a date attribute, or simply date type, date data type. Then customer ID, customer ID is also here I am writing, it is a type of foreign key. This is our main point, you have to understand. Here I am taking SID as primary key, and here I am taking a customer as foreign key, customer ID as a foreign key. So now I will create through table creation. I will show you how to create it and how to use it. But before going to this, just see to it that customer ID of order table is a foreign key pointing to SID of column in the customer table. Now this line, what it suggests actually, so this customer table, we can say this is one of the master table. This is actually the master table where actual primary key is located, and basically this order table, we can say this is one type of foreign table. This is foreign table. This foreign table and master table, these are connected through the foreign key. And what is foreign, which particular key is behaving like foreign key here? So the first key, that is this one, SID is primary key is there, so this SID is behaving like foreign key here. SID is primary key, and this SID same value, actually I have taken different name, but for example if it is SID also, so this SID is behaving like a foreign key. So that is creating a referential integrity between these two table, customer table and order table. We can relate these two table using this foreign key. Now this is the just question. Now let's see how we can solve this scenario. So here is the solution, just like how to specify any foreign key, So here again we can create any foreign key, or we can specify any foreign key using the create table command, using this DDL command. So let's see, whenever we are creating, we have to mention other integrity constant also. Create table orders, create order ID integer, then order date. Here is no issue, order ID integer we know, just normal order ID integer type, order date type, customer ID, look at here, integer I have written here only, amount, another column is there, just double type. So and then these 2 points are very important. Primary key within bracket order ID. So already I have shown, this is also the way how we can add a primary key. There are 3-4 ways how we can create a primary key for any particular table. So where this is table, to create table order, within the table first I have mentioned the column name, and then I am mentioning the primary key within bracket order ID, primary key within bracket I am mentioning here order ID. So after primary key, now we are mentioning the foreign key is there, foreign key within bracket customer ID. That means for this table we want this customer ID should behave like a foreign key. So foreign key, customer ID, references, this is very important word, references, then your master table name, that is customer SID. So this word you have to remember, references means which column it is referencing actually. Already in the definition only we come to know that a foreign key is actually called referential integrity. Actually it is used for referential integrity. So references means when we are relating multiple tables. So foreign key is there, foreign key, then customer ID, this is our actual foreign key, and references we are mentioning here our master table, that is customer SID. So this is the structure. Again I am repeating once, just doubt may arise. Create table order, this is our order table, and within the order table I am creating the columns order ID integer, order date, customer ID integer, amount double, then amount double, after that primary key order ID, foreign key customer ID, references customer SID. That means what? When you are mentioning a foreign key, you have to first mention the particular foreign key attribute, after that this references word, and after that customer SID, this is your master table that you have to mention here. So this is basically the structure. Today basically I have discussed about the constraint, because this is one of the important this will be one important topic, and today only I'm just sharing the notes regarding this topic. So after going through this video, if more doubt arises, because I will not be present as it is a recorded session as I mentioned previously. So just any doubt arises, just ask in classroom, in the classroom app only, and next day, that is day after tomorrow, that is on Thursday, I will sort it out whatever doubts are there through either practical session or through this live stream only. So for this I am just ending the session. Thank you, student.